What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 4 of season 1 of Solo Leveling. We're going to be going full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've watched this episode, and we'll do a real quick recap. It should be pretty quick because this episode is very straightforward. So, Jinwoo is in his solo dungeon after the last episode, where he kind of is awakening to all of the mechanics in his MMO world now, basically. He fights the wolf that he was fighting in the last episode. He finds out he has an inventory. He pulls a sword out. He's able to defeat the wolf. Then more wolves show up. He's able to fight them off as well. Then he's kind of exploring his inventory. He sees that he can buy and sell things. He gets rewarded, very much just like a video game. And then he is left with a decision to either continue on the dungeon or use his teleportation stone to leave. Can he come back? I don't remember if he said that or not.
He was also confused on
Okay. Yeah. So he decides to keep going, though. He ends up fighting a bunch of wolves after that because he needs to basically grind to get his level up. And then he goes and fights the boss of the dungeon, which is a giant snake. There is durability in this game because his sword is getting cracked as he's fighting. Ends up breaking. He's not able to penetrate the snake's scales, which he kind of assumed anyway, but he tries. And while he's doing this, he's kind of remembering back to when he was perceived as weak, feeling weak, all that kind of stuff. And then he kind of has a revelation that basically an awakening that, he's been leveling. He's been putting points into strength. He drops the sword and basically kills the snake with his bare hands, showing that he is indeed a lot stronger than he used to be, being able to break the scales with his hands. And then, he ends up leaving the dungeon. And after leaving the dungeon, a portal had appeared in the, the actual world. And a dungeon break had occurred where, I forgot, it was like 10 minutes or whatever. Or no, 3 days. It's 3 days, right? Before those things crack open. And
I don't remember the stipulation.
Exact, yeah. So this thing has been sitting around for a while. And some monsters came out of it. When he comes out of his dungeon, a soldier sees him, recognizes he's a hunter because he has a sword, tells him that there's an event happening right down the block. Worth noting, Jinwoo is able to sense the boss now that he is leveled up. He's able to kind of feel that. And he heads over there. There is a party of hunters fighting it, very much like an MMO. They have DPS, they have tanks, they have healers. People are complaining at each other for not doing their role correctly. And he notices it's level E's and D rank people there, so all fairly low level.
And one B healer.
And a B healer, yeah, which is, I forgot her name, Lee, something, Jihu, who was the girl who went on the original raid with him, who has like PTSD now because of what happened. And we see there that she's still shooken up from this, though she's trying. And these guys can't land any damage on this dude because he has too much defense. Jinwoo decides to throw his sword at it because he recognizes that it's a lower level than the boss he just fought in his own solo dungeon. He's able to shatter its defenses. The team is able to take down this big, golem type thing. And they kill it. But as they're celebrating, one of the guys kind of recognizes, he's like, we weren't doing any damage to that at all. And then all of a sudden we were able to kill it. What the hell happened? He sees the sword, kind of makes the connection that somebody was much more powerful than they are, and threw the sword and was able to shatter the defense. We leave the episode seeing Jinwoo walking off, kind of confused still by his own power because he is assuming that they had done a lot of damage to it already if he was able to shatter its defenses so easily, and walks off, and Jiwoo sees him and wonders what the hell he's up to. So that's the episode. What do we think?
Like you said, it was a pretty straightforward episode, and a large majority of it was him questioning himself, which I'm not the hugest fan of that, which is a very typical archetype that they use.
Yeah.
In Eastern storytelling especially, but it's fine. I just was like, okay, we get it. You don't believe in yourself, type of thing.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not a reoccurring thing, episode after episode after episode.
Yeah. It was nice to see him progress, though very rapidly. I'd say it didn't take him very long to level. In fact, after the snake fight, he leveled like 3 times. I think after that fight.
Just flying.
Yeah, the wolves part was like okay. It was just nice because we were basically getting more. What am I looking for? Details on how like the game for him works with the store. You know, he can't buy things yet because he's not high enough level, but he's allowed to sell things, start making money, stuff like that. The part I liked a lot about this episode though was the boss fight was very well animated, and the choreography and stuff like that was really good. So that was a lot of fun to watch. I also like that. They just kind of went for the screw it. Sharp weapons don't work on armor. We're just gonna crush it, and he just hugged its head off basically, which was gross but fun.
I always forget too that this anime is like bloody, because like there's just blood everywhere. I'm like, this is a really gory MMO he's playing.
Yeah, well, and I was just like, it's so funny because you watch the OP and the OP is animated like really well, and the show is like it's fine, but then stuff like this happens, and it did actually animate it very well, so that was good. And then going into back to the real world with his new title and prizes in tow from beating the dungeon, he, like you said, decides to discard his sword at the golem and shatter his shield in one shot, and still is like doubting it was him. So
that needs to be a feature in games where you have something that's like broken durability wise and you just chuck it and do a bunch of damage.
But yeah, overall it was a fun episode. I definitely like the concept of the show and stuff like that. It's not super deep, but it doesn't have to be necessarily. If this is just the show, I'm fine with watching it this way. So
yeah, it's a small detail I left out is that he did get a reward for the dungeon, which was like that weird dagger thing. I don't know if it's a dagger, but it looked kind of small.
Yeah, it was a dagger with paralysis and health leech. So,
oh, nice. I'd be stoked about that if I received that. The episode, I keep saying this every review, but I appreciate that the show is pretty straightforward because watching it's just really easy. Sometimes, with certain animes, you got to like really pay attention to every little thing they're saying. And in this, it's like very straightforward so far, so I like that. The episode was cool. I did like you kind of said, the unraveling of mechanics in his world. Now we're still trying to like find out what he can even do, and it is very much a video game. So if you're familiar with games, you kind of know exactly where it's going in terms of the mechanics of being able to sell things, buy things, level up, stuff like that. The wolf fight was interesting because he started off kind of struggling with one, and then he ended up murdering a bunch of them. So the weapon really made a difference, and the leveling made a difference. So, which is also very much just like an MMO or any kind of RPG. One thing you fought at one point, you're like, "Holy shit, that was rough." Later, you're just like walking through them, one hitting them. So, I feel it. I feel that. The boss fight was interesting too. I do agree. I was watching it. I was like, the animation in this is actually really good. Way better than I was expecting. When he was like jumping at the screen and rolling, stuff like that, I was really impressed with, like you were saying, the choreography and the movement.
Well, even the way like the snake was like moving and stuff like that, it was very believable. So
so I'm really happy with that because that just tells me we're still early in the show. That later in the show when crazy fight scenes are happening, they're capable of animating a really good fight scene. So this was less about the battle and more about his getting over how weak he was, but it was done really well. It's also fun to kind of see the completion of his dungeon and finding out the rewards, because even though I'm not playing this game, I get to kind of watch what he gets for finishing it. So so it's really interesting as a avid gamer. And then it was interesting too that he walked out of the dungeon and something had already been happening, because early in the episode we got a little hint that portal was just kind of chilling there, and like civilians are walking by going like, that's not good, like that's been there for a while. And so we didn't need to see the whole battle. It was kind of cool to see the end of it, like they had been fighting a while and had already beat all the monsters that came out. But
I hate how complacent people are though, because like they had the barriers up and the team was like fighting basically for the sake of everyone there. And they're just like, I wish this would hurry up, blah, blah. I was like, shut up.
It's really weird how, like, there's a gate up for this boss fight and people are just watching. Like, it's a really bizarre scenario to see play out. But I thought it was kind of cool too that I thought he was going to come in and like just wreck the thing, and he did technically do that, but like it wasn't about him. He just kind of tried to help them, which in a weird way is almost like in that he was weak and kind of found himself. He might do that for them because he threw the sword and they were able to beat it. Kind of carried him.
He also like exists outside of their system at this point because like no one else can improve. So
yeah, I wonder how strong he is rank wise right now, because technically he's nothing because he's just leveling up. But where would he be right now? Because
if that was a D boss and he basically, I assume he could have two-shot it because one shot for the shield. I don't know. He's got to be at least a C, I'd say at this point.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But yeah, it was kind of an interesting way to finish the episode in that, he just helped a team beat their boss, basically. So, but yeah, overall, it was a cool episode. Definitely looking forward to seeing what they bring with the next episode, because we don't have like a strong story arc right now outside of him becoming stronger.
Development. Yeah.
But I am enjoying the creativity of how you merge a video game, like unashamedly a video game, into an anime's story progression.
Modern day setting with fantasy weapons and stuff.
It's really fun to watch because I am getting like just the anime experience, but I'm also getting like it's like a brand new game. What are the mechanics? What are the rewards? So like where does this go in terms of like progression? So it's kind of a cool mix. Not super deep, but fun for sure. So definitely enjoying it. And yeah. Anything else?
I think that about covers it.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments what you guys think of this episode 4. What were some of the highlights? Something maybe we missed in our conversation you want to bring to light for us? No spoilers, please. We have not checked out the manhwa, so we don't know where this goes. Also, I want to say that I have watched the first season of Attack on Titan, finally, and I made a review for it. So if you want to see my thoughts on that first season moving into the second season, that is up right now, so go check that out. It's been a long time coming. We're also going to watch the 3rd episode of
Metallic Rouge,
Buchigiri and Metallic Rouge, and we're going to do a review of both of them together until you guys are going to continue watching them or not, because I want to give each show 3 episodes at the very least before I make a decision on that. And of course, give us recommendations for things you'd like us to watch. We are open to that if it's compelling enough. So if you know something that we should be watching, whether it's new or old, let us know. I've been Seth, though. This has been Chevy, and join us soon for our next review. Until then, we will talk to you guys later.